We're gonna do it right
I'm
now.
good.
No, go
Let's
ahead.
go. Let's go. Let's
Eat
go.
the candy. Eat it. Hey guys, what's going on? Uh, Pedro Hannibal YouTube channel. I'm yelling at Pedro to eat his Laffy
I
Taffy.
know. Listen. We're like 10 seconds in. We've been talking for like 30. Hannibals already yelling at me, calling me names. It's
You
fine.
eat your Laffy Taffy. You eat Laffy
It's all
Taffies.
right. Well,
That's a
my Happy Father's Day, Hannibal. Let me say that
oh
number
yeah,
one.
so yeah. Happy
Okay.
Father's Day. It was good.
Um, Juneteenth as well, right? That's a thing.
That's the thing.
That's important.
What is it?
Um,
What is it? What is
Juneteenth.
it?
Uh, from what I understand, that's when the last state of in America
Yeah, something.
recognized the freedom
Yeah,
of African Americans. That's what I know.
something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I could tell me,
But
uh,
I got a little goodie basket yesterday for Father's Day, and I got all kinds of like my favorite chips, the Frito Lay's chili cheese, and I got all this candy and the peach Haribos, and all kinds of stuff I really don't need. So shout out to my daughter. She got me all kinds of cool stuff. So it was good.
what?
Yeah,
Well, my
yeah.
son made a card.
I got a card too. I mean, where's
Yeah.
my card? Here we go. You like
We're,
dogs,
we're
right?
competing against.
Yeah. I mean, did you? Is it that good? It's probably your son's card wasn't that good, was it? Are you jealous? Are you? Are you jealous?
Oh,
No.
a little bit. No, oh, that's adorable.
It is. Yeah.
That's adorable. Yeah, he kind of
It's hard.
he reminded me of in the card. He said that time we went to ramen, it was really good as you promised, or something like that. He wrote in there,
That's
but
great. What do you?
it's
That's
kind of
awesome, man.
no, I'm
That's a
just saying.
memory. He's sharing a memory with you. That's
Yeah,
great.
which is yeah. The point I thought about was you don't know what memories or what experiences are actually like important to a child. You know what I mean? Compared to what you think is when you may spend a lot of money on a concert or this event, but us going on a random Saturday to go get some food was like that was a positive experience. And he had a fun time, which was kind of cool because we didn't talk. He stayed on his damn tablet. We ate food and say maybe two
Yeah.
words to each other. I mean, we're our usual thing, but I didn't
Yeah.
know that it was that special to him. So that was kind of
That's
cool.
awesome. I
Um,
think for kids, it's different than what we think might be special. Like you said, sometimes it's not about like making it big and spending a lot of money or doing something
yeah,
extravagant. It's about that time between a father and son, father and daughter, and I think that's what's up. But you
yeah.
mentioned tablet. My daughter, I'm trying to break her up. She has her tablet and she watches way too much, man. I don't know if that's a thing in y'all's household, but
Yeah,
here it's
we try to kind of we try to.
it's
He
tough,
only is
man.
allowed to use a tablet on the weekends, and sometimes I still catch him either trying to say I'm using it to read. Oh, he's got some books in it. Like he's trying to find
Yeah,
ways to use a tablet, but
he's
we
smart.
we
Yeah.
we restrict it towards yeah, weekends. So even during the summer, it will be weekends. But yeah, these kids, you'll
You guys are
see
better.
10
You
year
guys are
olds with a
better
cell phone.
parents than us. You guys have it. It's every day. It's too much, and we got to figure it out. We're failing at that right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be the bad guys. I think you're gonna have to kind
Yeah.
of be and find something else more interesting. I mean, back in the day, we were stuck watching TV, and that wasn't good, right? Like I watched tons of television,
True.
but
True.
now I'd rather have my kid watch TV than the tablet or the phone because the TV doesn't give you notifications and apps and
Hmm.
dopamine hits hitting
Hmm.
you and this customizable experience to keep you glued in. Like
Yeah.
TV's gonna show you some shows. You may pay attention, you may not. You know, I mean, it was all bad, right? Like
Yeah.
back in the day, that was the
Yeah.
thing. Like, don't go. What they called it, the idiot box.
Yeah. Idiot
But
bot. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind some idiot box. Like because sometimes you're not getting stuck compared to that tablet. So don't give up. Just be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the fault. Being the dad, I'm the bad guy. I'm the one like, no, you can't do it. Then he
Yeah.
runs to his mom, and his mom pretends
See,
like
it's the
she's with
opposite
him.
right now. It's the opposite now because she's younger than your son. But
Yeah.
I think at some point, yeah, it'll turn. If she becomes like a teenager or something, I'll have to, wear that hat, the dad hat. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm just like the fun dad, and her mom's the one that's usually yelling, but she's really chill. But like, you're not yelling, but trying to like, she's
Be the
with her more than,
disciplinarian. It's
yeah,
good to
yeah. So
have both. Like
yeah,
you don't want both being just like it got to be the good cop. The good cop, bad cop thing works
I think
clearly,
it does.
right?
I think it
But
does.
I think it
Yeah,
works in the parenting too. Like someone's a little bit more assertive. I think it works that way. So
yeah.
I already see a few really good names already in here. So we're going male. I forgot to type that in the title.
Male.
So it's male from 90s to 2000. we probably should have went in the 90s. Like I think, at least with my list, I think some artists blend through several of them. And I don't
Right,
know. I
right.
think dead 90s and dead maybe
I mean, Qualaya's got some great ones in here. She got Tina Marie. She's going both ways. Belle Biv DeVoe,
yeah.
Johnny Gill, Lauren Hill, Tony. I love Tony, man. Yeah,
I got
Giggity, Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye. Some good choices there. I like that. Yeah, that's some good
well.
ones.
We said 90s, not
We did. We
1890s.
did. Well, I feel like if we went into the 70s and 80s, right?
Yeah,
60s, 70s, but 70s and 80s, that's the whole list. My whole five is going to be just about there, or at least four of them for
yeah,
me at
Marvin
least. I
Gaye,
like the old, Al
Al Green. Like I
Green.
think I like Al Green more
I
than
like
Marvin Gaye, which is
me too. Hot
people
take,
love
me
Marvin Gaye
too.
way more
Yes,
than Al Green, but
I like Al
Al
Green.
Green, man, he just got that flow, man.
The
It's just
Ronald Isley, the Isley brothers, like big fan. You know,
yeah,
yeah, I like Al
soulful
Green.
dude, man. He was
Yeah,
still making music up, with R. Kelly, and I guess we'll talk about
he
him later.
was.
I mean, I don't
Maybe.
want to
Well,
tease it.
I guess we
Yeah,
might
kind
talk
of
about
already
him
teased it, but
later.
a little bit. But
Okay.
I want to talk
Okay.
about some basketball stuff real quick.
Let's do that first. Yeah.
Actually, this is kind of a weird story, but I heard it today. Did you hear about this submarine that's missing that they can't find it?
Submarine.
Okay, so real
Zion. You
quick.
talking about Zion Williamson?
No,
That was funny, wasn't it?
that was good. Uh, how dare you? You may
Where
go
is
to the
Zion?
Knicks.
Where?
Listen, you may go to the
Okay,
Knicks.
hold on, hold
Be
on, hold
nice.
on. If he went to the Knicks, are we doing a podcast on that? Are you happy about that?
No, because we have to give up. We probably have to give up a lot to get him.
You would, yeah. Which is crazy to
So
think is getting Zion might be a negative. That's
there's
wild.
stories about Zion not connecting with the staff, not connecting with his teammates. I don't know what is going on. Again, it's
He's
rumors, but I
connecting
was
with the
reading.
porn stars, man. That's what he's doing.
Well,
That's
you
what
saw the
he's
picture.
connecting with.
You would connect. But anyway,
So
real quick.
I would.
So there's a special tour for really rich people. You got to spend about $250,000 to get in, right? It's an 8-day trip. You go in a submarine and you go and see the Titanic wreck. Now the wreck is like really far in the ocean, right? So it's rich people shit, right? It's 5 people in the submarine. Well, apparently, like an hour and change into the trip, they lost contact with the thing. They're trying to find it. The problem is they have
Who's
no
they? Who's they? Like the
everyone, the U.S., the Coast Guards,
Coast Guards?
multiple,
Oh,
Canadian, because I don't know where exactly. It's mid-Atlantic, so it could
okay.
be whatever, right? So the vessel weighs 23,000 pounds. It can go to 13,000 feet. The problem is they have no communication. They can't come back, right? Like they're trying to rescue it. It only has 96 hours of available life support air.
What?
So and apparently, like one of the people is like a billionaire, 50-something-year-old Haddish Hander. I don't know who that person is,
Mm-hmm.
but they are basically on a mad rush to get this submarine back up because after a few days they're dead, basically.
How does it
They
not have like the radars and isn't that like
the communication they can't.
isn't that like
Yeah,
a prerequisite to just even get into the water and do those kind of? I would think somebody would have to sign off on that, and there'd have to be things up to code or whatever.
yeah. I mean,
Seems
apparently
weird.
this. I don't know if this is the first one. There was one planned for next year. So communicating is challenging because GPS nor radio works underwater. The crew and passengers are sealed inside the vessel. They cannot get out the sub without a crew on the outside letting them out.
Mm.
So they can send some messages, but they're not getting any response. So there's a pilot. It's wild, and I'm just
That's
thinking
wild.
like, man,
So how
kind of
many hours
reminds
do
me.
they have? When did this start?
I think it started today. They have about
Today.
from last time, so 50 something hours or something. Something
Okay.
time is running out, and they gotta go find them. They lost. Yeah,
Do
it
you
was,
think that the people on the how do they how do they know that how do we know they're lost? Do they know they're lost? Do they know that there's an issue, or are they just chilling? Like, you know
it's
what I'm saying? Like,
it's
how
a
did the
good it's a
story?
good chance they probably know they lost.
Yeah.
Either something went wrong, maybe the pilot passed out. You don't know what happened in this little submarine. And imagine the balls even. Would you even attempt to do this? Even
What,
if
to
you
get
had
in
the money
a submarine?
to go in a submarine, a
Oh,
small little joint, not the
yeah,
big
yeah,
ones
yeah.
where you like. Even then, it'll be a challenge. The little small joints to go see the Titanic wreck.
If it was free, I would go tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
If I
you
had,
wore the weird one. You want
I
to go to
am,
Mars and
yes,
stuff.
I'll go to
Yeah.
Mars
Okay. Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, we talked about that. But
Okay. You're
yeah, I'm
weird.
not paying. That's not something I'd pay to do. But if it was given to me as an option, I'm not going to pass up like a very unique life opportunity like that. Yeah, I
Well,
would.
they're on. Well, hopefully they get found because they're all gonna die, and it's only rich people. So it's a billionaire down there. Obviously, 250,000 is it's nothing, but it kind of shows the depths of the ocean that we don't even have any idea. And then obviously this place is supposed to be some expedition. Apparently, this is a you get to see the wreck. I mean, I've seen the movie already, so whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're supposed to be, it's supposed to be
So
some
you've
really
seen
cool
Titanic?
experience.
You've seen Titanic?
Everyone have seen it.
I have not seen Titanic. I've seen bits and pieces as my
Get
sisters
the
were
front
watching.
door. Get
I've
out of
never
here.
watched
You
Titanic from
really
beginning
want?
to end. My older
It's a
sister,
long movie. It's a long
yeah,
movie.
my oldest sister, which I'm the oldest, so she's 3 years younger than me. She used to love Leonardo DiCaprio, would watch those movies,
Yeah.
and I remember she'd had it. It was like a VHS, a double VHS. That's how long
Oh
the
yeah.
movie was, right? And she'd have it playing, and I'd watch. I know some of the scenes and stuff, but I've never sat down and watched the movie.
I remember when Titanic came out in the theater, and apparently it was like the greatest thing ever. Everyone
Yeah,
went to see it. Some people
yeah,
went to see it twice,
yeah.
and I never went to the theater because I was like, well, I already know what happened. It hit an iceberg and it sunk.
Everybody died.
So I probably watched it when it came out. It's cool. Like Leo's a good actor. I forgot the other girl's name.
Kate Winslet.
Kate Hudson, Winslet or
Kate Winslet. Yeah,
Winslet? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It was a cool movie. I mean, it's like a love story, and then the whole debate is why Jack didn't go on the door to float along
yeah.
with.
Like she don't really love him. Two of them could have fit on
Yeah,
there. That's the whole thing, right?
apparently there was like a lot of like science has been brought in and research. Like, yes, they could have both floated on the
Mm-hmm.
door. He didn't have to. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That it all makes sense. But
It
yeah,
doesn't.
but
It doesn't
anyway,
make for a good movie though. Like
no, and the special effects
somebody.
was pretty good at the time.
Yeah,
Like the
really
seeing
good.
this thing sinking and people falling off, and the
I think
terror and
that's
the
James
craziness.
Cameron, right? Is that
Oh
James
yeah, yeah,
Cameron?
yeah.
Yeah. So
Avatar
he's
guy.
always ahead of the time on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I
mean,
have
the
not
guy did
watched.
He did the Terminator movie, and he did like. I mean,
Yes,
he's always ahead
I
of
have
the
not
CGI.
watched any of the Avatar movies. None of them.
I've watched
So
the first one, and we started to watch maybe a month ago or so. I think I bought or rented the one on a streaming device,
yeah,
and I got like 30 minutes in. I said, "This is really boring," and it's like too much action. They just jumped. It was like with me when a movie's like so much action and you can't really keep up with what's happening, and it's just like
yeah,
action, action. I lose. I gotta have a story. I
yeah.
didn't even finish it. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. It looks great, but
yeah,
it's not a big deal. But anyway, good luck to them.
that's sad, man. That's sad.
That's hopefully they find them. I mean, they still have time, but they have a certain amount of air left, and if they don't find them in this time span, then problem is when you lost at sea, you're lost at sea. They're not finding you. Now there's a little, at least there's some kind of 300. What was it? 230-pound thing. So like it's probably easier compared to a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll just pick that big bowl up and pour the soup out.
Have
Anyway,
you heard? Have you heard how little we know about galaxy, but then even like water that we can
yes,
see? And we know
yes.
so like it's like one thing I heard about
There's
like the
depths that we
galaxy
can't get there yet.
was like or yeah, there's like if you take like a cup or two of water out of the ocean, right? And you hold that in your hand, that's about as much as we've discovered out of in
Yeah,
comparison to the rest of the, you know what I'm saying? Like we
yeah,
know so little about it. It's crazy.
yeah. And you wanna go in. So next year they have
Yeah,
another one set
absolutely.
up.
You're gonna
Let's
pay
say if they
for it,
don't
right?
find these people,
You're a big
you
baller.
will.
Come on. You can handle it. You can handle it.
I'm not gonna roll the dice for you to die on my dime.
I appreciate that actually.
I can't deal with that. But anyway, yeah, some quick basketball stuff. So, as you all know, the Denver Nuggets won the championship. Whoop-de-doo. So,
They did. Yeah.
the big game-changing trade, Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards went to the Phoenix Suns. Jordan Goodwin, and Isaiah. I don't know any of the other players. Anyway, Chris Paul, and some second-round draft picks, and a pick swap from the Wizards. So, I sent a message to Pedro. Pedro's like, this thing gonna do a damn thing. I think they're fourth betting odds or third to win the championship.
I mean, this helps their case, but they don't have a bench. That was the issue. They're not deep, and getting rid of Chris Paul, I knew that was gonna happen. he's aging. They got to upgrade in that position. They'll probably put Devin Booker he'll probably play some point guard like he did in the playoffs. Maybe Cameron Payne plays a little more instead of coming off the bench. Then you got
Yeah.
Bradley Beal as your 2, KD's at 3. They got to trade DeAndre Ayton if somebody will take him to get the money off the books, and then hopefully there's somebody, they can get 2 or 3 pieces for DeAndre. They're going to have to plug in another center, but I don't know. It's a ballsy move. They got a new owner. As soon as the owner came in, they signed KD, made some moves, and now they got Bradley Beal. I mean, this is basically the 4th super team Kevin Durant's been on. And
this is weird. It's getting weird now.
It's getting weird. I mean,
It's not.
I like Bradley Beal.
Hurting.
He's from St. Louis. Went to Chaminade High School, same high school.
He can ball, man.
He can ball, but he's been on a really shitty team for the last 8 years.
Yeah, and I think this is at least for him an opportunity to play meaningful basketball, because dude can play, and he puts it on, and I think at this point in his career, because he got the money, he can he don't have to score as much and facilitate. He got 3 players on the and this is a super team. 3 players, man, that can score a lot and change the dynamic of the team. So I think they'll be there at the end. Can they beat the Nuggets? That's Lakers. I'm sorry, Lakers. I think that 5th betting odds, that's too high. That's it. They're too old. It's over.
They are old.
So it's the Nuggets. And we'll talk about the Golden State Warriors too. But I think they're in the mix. They're in the mix, and you never know what's going to happen.
But we said that about Brooklyn when it was Harden and KD and Irving, right? We said that about them.
You like to bring that up a lot.
No, but that's what we were talking about. We said that, and I think it's comparable. 3 big names, but
which 3 is better? Those 3 that were in Brooklyn, or this 3 in the Suns?
Oh, great question. I think the Brooklyn Nets 3 were more accomplished. Harden being an MVP and Irving being a champion. KD, obviously, he's the only piece that's the same. But Booker's young, Bradley Beal's not young, KD's not young anymore. I think he's 34, 35. But all these guys have issues in the last couple of years. So I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it for the Suns. You got to go all in. The West is, the Nuggets are still going to be good. The Lakers will make a move. I think the only way the Lakers stay relevant is if they get Damian Lillard. If Damian decides at some point, I'm not going to stay in Portland, and he goes to LA, that shifts. That shifts a lot. That shifts a lot. But that's the only person I think that they could get that would really help their cause. We'll see. Nuggets are loaded up again. They're young. The Warriors, Draymond Green didn't sign his extension or his max, whatever, turned down some money. He's going to stay with the Warriors. I think they're going to figure out the money, pay him more long term so they can keep some of their pieces. Warriors will still be around. The Kings had a good year. So I don't know. We'll see.
But going back with Draymond, I don't know, man.
You think he's going to go somewhere?
No, he probably will stay. I just don't think that's a good idea with the Jordan Poole thing. I think it still affects the team. Are you going to move Poole? No, they probably won't. But should they? I mean, he's young.
Who do you think is more valuable to that team? If you're the GM of the Warriors
right now,
right now, for the next 3 years, let's just go.
No, Poole.
We're talking
Poole, 3 years.
Poole for 3 years.
And the next season, Draymond, because of his defense and leadership, but the fraction, the team, like, you can't punch a dude like that and everyone's gonna be cool. I don't think it works that way. Because of how sensitive Poole is, and how when he sees baddies on the court side, he plays better. Like, these are the things that we know about him.
So then, if I'm the Warriors, I got the hottest IG model. I put row seat,
absolutely,
and it doesn't cost you that much, and then you get an extra 10 points a night out of Poole.
Poole starts like going crazy. I mean,
good investment. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a thing, but like there's a I don't even call it a meme. I've seen it. You see a bunch of hot women, and then all of a sudden he just balling. I don't know. But I think it's still there's some issues there. And then how Jordan Poole feels if Draymond still sticks around, I don't know. We'll see. But I think they're definitely gonna have that long-term deal.
I mean, I think if anything, It's good for the. There's a lot of things. The Victor Wembanyama kid's coming into the league. We'll see what he does. I mean,
Yeah, that's gonna be a
there's this
big, yeah.
other guy, Henderson, I think, which will probably be the second pick.
Yeah, he said, yeah.
He looks like a monster. So Zion, what happens with him? How's Kyrie gonna play with Luka in Dallas? Is he gonna be there? How do the Nuggets respond? They're pretty much gonna have everybody back. They're a really young team actually. So how do the Celtics respond after laying the dud? Miami, some people have Miami picking up some a free agent, right, and dropping Lowry. So
That has to be a really attractive. You go to Miami,
that's
you
where I
play
go.
in a good team.
No state tax.
No state, no
Yeah,
state tax.
I'm going to Miami. Eric Spoelstra seems like great coach. Going to
He's a great
demand a lot,
coach.
but you're going to be in the running. I'm going to Miami.
You're right. Like who? Forget all these other places.
Yeah.
And John Morant, 25 games. I think he did in terms of the amount of games he's going to have suspended out without pay. 25. Not that bad. I mean, I thought it would have been worse. What do you think?
I thought it was going to be a little harsher. He's basically missing almost a third of the season. This is costing him a lot of money because off the court and on the court. But I don't know. I thought it might have been more, but I hope he rebounds. I saw something today, and I don't know how true it is because the internet is it's a weird place.
Yeah.
Some kind of video of him flashing a fake gun.
Yeah,
the toy gun. I don't even know if it's true, but like, why? Like, if it is, it's just like, really? Like, what's happening here? It's just that's weird. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm rooting for him.
We went from the Memphis Grizzlies. They were second seed at one time.
Yeah.
Young team. They're going to go and actually maybe go a little further along and become, where I guess the Denver Nuggets are right now. A young team that just figure it out, and that's it. I don't know. Like I said, I hope he turns around, but I don't know. I don't know if he's getting it. Well, how much do you lose? How much do you need to lose to get it? That's going to be the narrative for John Morant. How much are you going to lose before you understand, or you never understand, and it just gets worse and worse? Like Zion, how much you're going to keep getting big? You're getting distracted by other things. You got your money. Yeah. When is it going to finally click that, like I said, get your weight together, stop with the distractions, and just play basketball, or not?
It's funny what you just said there kind of makes me think about something, because when you mention how much you have to lose until you get it, right? Yeah. When you think about back in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, a lot of these, not a lot, but some popular athletes, even some that weren't super popular but still made money, millions of dollars, right? You would hear about substance abuse problems, drug problems, right? Yeah. And they would lose a lot of money, shorten their career, get in trouble, maybe even physically have some hardships. And you don't hear about that as much now. So I think what's happened with some of these young athletes and some parts of society, in my opinion, the drugs are still there. It's an issue. Okay. It's a big issue in America, right? But with the athletes, I think the addiction has turned from the cocaine, the drinking, the drugs, right? It's turned into this like social media type of addiction and this glamorization of a lifestyle, right? I think that's what we've seen change in the last 20, 30 years. And I think Ja fits into that a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
So when you think of like a Darryl Strawberry, a Doc Gooden, you think about a Lawrence Taylor, these big names, right?
Michael Irvin,
exactly. Thank you. Yeah. You think about these guys, a lot of, cokes flying around in the 80s. These guys are drinking and doing drugs. They're living a life, right? And a lot of these guys cost themselves a lot of money by doing that. I think now, back then we didn't have Instagram. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have Facebook. You didn't have that stuff, right? So now it's like these people and athletes, because we all do it. We go to these social media platforms to try to get some kind of dopamine hit, right? And I think without knowing him, I think he has a little bit of that in him. He wants that instant recognition. Look at me. I made it. I got the jewels. I got this. I'm
absolutely.
And I think that is an addiction for him. And when you mention how much you have to lose, when you're addicted to something, you'll lose it all. So
potentially,
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. But I mean, I think he's addicted to that, man. I really do.
Yeah. And, the drug stuff is still obviously an issue, especially in other, sports like NFL, where painkillers become, something you get addicted to. Aaron Hernandez, the amount of drugs he was taking, and also the CTE stuff. But yeah, I think with Ja Morant in particular, and the other athletes as well, the drug of choice is the social media, the dopamine hit, as powerful as any kind of cocaine, any kind of alcohol. And plus, they still be drinking, they still go crazy. I mean, I don't know. I still don't understand what happened with Odell Beckham Jr. on that plane. I don't know if he was wigging out and he got all defensive. That's probably what happened. But for some reason, people want to go and get an edible and go on the plane.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would do that. That's a waste of weed, personally for me. Like I would not do that. Like I just want to be chill. I'm not trying to get high.
Hannibal waits till he gets on the ground off.
Yes, absolutely. Like imagine getting high and going to a submarine and going 10,000 feet. But I'm gonna lose my. Yeah, it's too much for me. Too claustrophobic. But yeah, I think that's probably, and hopefully, yeah, I think he gets it. Realize the amount of money he has lost, the endorsements, the distraction of the team. Yeah, hopefully, but we'll never know. Well, I mean, we'll know by next year.
We'll see how you respond. I'm rooting for him. He's still young. He's got some. It seems like he has a support system around him that would help a little bit. So hopefully he can turn around. I'm hopeful for him. We'll see.
Yeah. So let's just get into some R&B discussion, shall we?
I see some good names in the comments here.
So everyone is throwing out a lot of old school names. Now, again, we're talking about male artists from 90s and the 2000s. So 2010 is the cutoff point. And I think that's one of the strongest R&B, at least, well, at this point, this is the golden era of R&B. Because I'm trying to think lately of what's the top artist right now, 2023.
The Weeknd, maybe.
The Weeknd, and that's
Khaled,
not R&B.
Khaled, the Giveon guy. The Weeknd's R&B. You don't think he's more pop?
He's pop now. Ever since he became happy and successful, he's pop. Yeah. Like he's a pop.
John
guy.
Legend. Is that still pop?
He's R&B, but I haven't heard him in a while. Beyonce used to be an R&B act. Like Destiny Child used to be R&B. Now,
they got too big. She got
yeah.
Are you a Beyonce fan? Like, are you a Beyonce fan? Like, do you listen to her music?
I don't go on my way to listen, but I like her music. Like, if they put it on, like, there's certain songs I like. Like, there's one random song I like because Andre 3000 is on it. Green Light. Is it Green Light?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll send it to you later.
I feel like she started like she got into the hip hop a little, like rapping, and she was doing some songs with Jay-Z and like trying to like spit bars, and it was like really awkward. I don't
know. I think I would still consider her an R&B artist, but still a lot of the pop stuff. Summer Walker is pretty good. SZA is pretty good.
SZA,
and that's about it.
Chris Brown. What about her?
Her, yeah.
What's the other one? LMA. She's super popular, right?
Yeah, she's still probably Bruno, but then I feel like Bruno Mars is extremely talented.
Bruno Mars.
I feel like that's pop music. Even like all right, Silk Sonic, the group with him and Anderson .Paak, awesome. I don't know if you checked it out.
Very good.
It's some R&B, but it's a little bit of everything. They got funk in there. It's just not that.
Then what do you say about Michael Jackson, the king of pop? That's his name, right?
Well, he's the king of pop, but he could be he was the king of everything, man. He could have done R&B if he wanted. Like if he was doing like he was able. There's some acts, some people like Johnny Cash, MJ. There's some artists that can do whatever if they
kind of transcend. Like they kind of just like they're not even on a list. Like it's just
if they want to do a pop, obviously Michael Jackson will do pop, but like like it doesn't matter to them. So I could still consider Michael Jackson to be R&B artist. Yeah, definitely. But it's not the same compared to the 90s and 2000s. So my list is still all over the place. I think I know my number 1 and number 2.
Do you have any honorable mentions or not? Usually we do that. I got a couple.
Yeah. We'll do some honorable mentions. Let me get my list together. Where the hell I put it? Let me see. I know I put it here somewhere.
While you do that, I'll name a couple of honorable mentions. Okay. Now, once again, as a disclaimer to all the people, you guys let us know in the chat. Like, put in. I see some names, and you guys listen. If you think my list is trash, if Hannibal's is trash, let us know. Okay. If we're, let us know in the comments. Now, my first honorable mention, and these lists, disclaimer, like I said, these are personal lists. It doesn't mean that they're going to have maybe.
Hey, don't qualify it.
It's a personal list. It takes me back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. That's when I was a young stallion, young stud. I would make mixtapes for my girls. Here, listen to this, babe. Like that's what we did back in the day, right? So
it's true.
All right, so my first honorable mention, and I know this isn't going to be on Hannibal's list. It's not going to be on any of y'all's list, but it's my
Yeah.
honorable mention.
Okay.
Only because they used to call me this guy in high school. The girls would say John B. Okay, John B did a song with like Tupac, and you guys remember John B? He's a white
Yeah, I
dude. He
love
had
John
like the
B.
little. He's like really down, you know.
Yeah.
People used to call me John B because I had like the same kind of hair. I had like the little goatee, and he had some vibes. He had some good. He had a couple good songs.
Oh,
Right?
he was a soulful dude. He still
Soulful dude, yeah.
performs, man. I
I think
missed
he
out the
does.
one time
I think
he
he
was
does.
around.
And it probably does well. So I had to put him in only because it's kind of nostalgic, right? So that's one of my honorable mentions, just to get that off my list. So
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of John B. That one, even that the first music video I saw him, they tried to make him look cool, and it went well. They tried to talk
they
this,
did
this,
try.
they tried, but and then that song with Tupac, that was one of the last collabs Tupac had before he died.
Oh, is that
he was
right?
supposed to be, yeah, he was supposed to be on the video. Obviously, that didn't work out. So one of my honorable mentions is D'Angelo. This dude back in the day. Now, Voodoo came out. That's probably one of the best R&B albums of the 2000s. But even before that, with a lot of the soulful, he had some hip hop elements in there too. With a lot of his songs, had this really great song talking about smoking weed, but it made it seem like it was brown sugar. It made it seem like he was talking about a woman. He was talking about getting high, but it was fantastic. It was a great metaphor song. Like it was just a great song. He's soulful as you can be, and 90s he killed it.
Did you like that? Did you like that video? The little 360 video.
I didn't like that video. I'm not a big fan of that video. I know you're talking about the Untitled song. How does it feel? My chick loves that video.
Great song. Great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. But who decided that was an idea to do? And then all the women. I don't think I've not talked to not one woman that didn't love that song. Because first of all, the camera's going way too low.
Yeah.
Men are not.
I mean, he looks great. He looks great. Yeah. I mean, the song's fantastic. I mean, such a great song. But it's an iconic video.
It's an iconic video, and it's interesting that no one tried to redo it, and thank God that hasn't happened. But yeah, D'Angelo's one of my what do you call it? What do you call it?
Honorable mentions. Bobby says, "I'll be unsubbed by the end of these lists." I love it.
Bobby is so gangster. He ain't got time for this soft stuff, man. He ain't got time for this nonsense. First of all, you don't like D'Angelo, Bobby? Come on now.
Come on, bro. Listen, I'll give you another reason to unsub. Honorable mention, Tevin Campbell.
Oh no.
Tevin Campbell. I like Tevin Campbell.
The news about
What's that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Tell me about
it. No, that's it. I got Tevin Campbell. He's honorable mention. That's it. Yeah.
I like Tevin Campbell. Like we were dropping some really good stuff. I know we just, we goofing off on each other. What's another one? I have a few. So Brian McKnight.
Ooh.
And I'm just gonna jump right here. Maxwell.
Ooh. Hold on. Are these on your honorable mention?
Honorable mentions.
Oh,
I've not put my top 5 yet.
But hold on. Well, let me let you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, those two are my top 5 is top 5.
Oh, you better come with. Listen, if you got, let me stop.
Mind you, we should have did 90s, and then we should have broke this up. Problem is, it went 20 years, so it's a lot. Okay. It's a lot in there, right?
All right.
I love Maxwell. Who doesn't? I mean, I can't even tell you which one is better than like Brian McKnight. I mean,
yeah, I'm just. I can't think of 5 guys better than Maxwell. So that's why I'm. Yeah. I can't.
Well, we're talking about R&B, baby. So yeah,
I think my list is more 90s and yours is more 2000s. I could be wrong.
Mine's is a bit old school. Mine's is old school. So I may be cheating a little bit, but they made fantastic music in the 90s. But but yeah, definitely an honorable mention. Yeah, they're great. I don't know if they're would beat my top 5, but Maxwell, he had his song "This Woman's Work." Was that the song? The song for the movie Love and Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm sure you've seen that movie.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah. I thought a woman was singing that at first because voice, he had the octave levels to go high and low or wherever he wanted. And then Brian McKnight, he's just a soulful
Mm.
crooner type
Yep.
dude. Still singing. I don't know if he's making new music, but both are still touring. They're still out there. That's also a really good thing about R&B. Even if you love 90s and 2000s, check your concerts in your area. They're out there touring. They're still
They're
making
out there
money, and you
touring.
can see all of your favorite artists. Like
They
I'm sure,
getting all the ladies between the ages of 40 and 60
yeah, they
right now.
get.
They just
Listen,
getting
take
them.
it.
They getting them, and they doing
Probably.
well. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think they're complaining at all. But
No, not at all.
so do you want to? I can still go with honorable, but you want to go
Listen,
straight
no,
top
I
five?
want to. I'm intrigued by your list more so than mine. I want to continue to hear your. Just please give the
Okay,
people what they want. Go ahead.
okay. I'm gonna go with Trey Songz on the other
Oh,
honorable mentions.
I can't.
Okay,
No, no,
what
no,
he did pretty well in the late 2000s. He should have been a bigger deal. I think the problem is he got some like some criminal stuff. He got some kind of like R. Kelly-ish type stuff happening to him.
Trey Songz.
Something happened.
I gotta write that.
Something happened to him, and he never became as famous as he should have been. Dude, super talented, could sing his ass off.
Very talented, good looking guy, like very
Good looking
talented.
guy. He could do, he's able to do it all. I don't think he danced or anything, but I don't know what happened to him. Like, why do you think he's not as famous as like? Is it the allegations? Like, I think there's some stuff that he's being accused of.
Yeah, can you put up Kuala?
Music Soul Child?
No. The next one, Kulaya. She said who? Look.
Who? Trey Songz?
Yeah.
Trey Songz?
I'm disappointed. I can't lie.
Oh, you gotta check him out. Listen to the first album.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it. I don't know if that's the name of the album. He comes out super young. I think he has braids. It's pretty good. Yeah, he kind of came out with Drake and the rest of them.
He's got neighbors know the neighbors know. I'm gonna have the neighbors know my name.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's just get straight into it. I was gonna start talking about dumbass Tyrese, but it's fine. We can move on.
I like Tyrese.
Yeah, he's cool. I
don't have him on my list.
Yeah. So, but go ahead. What's your number 5?
Oh, I'm a little shook with the Trey Songz. Like I'm a little shook that you have
Trey Songz. Yeah, Trey Songz in your top 5?
No.
Oh, okay.
You have him in your. I'm shook that you have.
No. Top 5. Trey Songz was still honorable mentions. I didn't go to my top 5 yet.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to your list. I don't have any more.
No.
Hold up. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. See, I think you guys are gonna hate my list because I have a guy written down, but I wasn't gonna include him because I feel like he didn't do enough in the 90s. But I guess I'm gonna have to put him there. I'm gonna have to change my number 1 because I feel like you're gonna have him, but like I don't want my list to be. It shouldn't matter.
We're all over. We're gonna be all over the place.
I think we're gonna be all over the place. So hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, this is tough. I don't have another honorable mention unless I got one more. Miguel. Big fan of Miguel. He's a little more current. He's more along the same timeline as Trey Songz. I had him actually at my 5. I'm gonna bump him into my honorable mention. Okay. And then he's got some good songs. I just remember personally doing some things too. That's why Miguel's in my song. Okay. And the coffee video. Coffee in the morning, fantastic video, right?
Yeah. R&B has some really good videos, right? Like they
fantastic videos.
They did their thing.
Fantastic. So I'll go. Usher is my number 5.
No, okay, yeah, this is not gonna work.
Why not?
There's no way Usher is number 5.
Oh, he's number 5.
No way he's number 5.
So you have him as number 1.
This is one of the most successful acts of the last.
Usher is number 5.
Usher is number. Okay,
listen,
so
I can explain it to you as you see my list, but I think this is going to be interesting. He's number 5.
Usher is number 5.
Usher is number 5. Yes.
Have you heard him?
It's going to show you how good my list is.
Oh, it must be.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Usher.
Number 5. Yep.
All right.
Anybody have a problem with that in the chat? Is he not in the top 5? Is he too high, too low? You guys let me know. Robert Bradley says Usher. Sorry about the spelling, guys. LOL.
Okay, so let me go. Okay, so my number 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's not better than Usher. I don't know if he's on the same level as Neo. I have Neo's number 5.
Neo.
His
Neo.
Neo.
Well, so Usher's
I'm
better.
not gonna
So
try
my
to
number
sing,
five's
but
way better than your number five. That's for sure.
clearly, but
Clearly,
Neo
yeah.
wrote a lot of songs for a lot of people. And so the songs like Mad, So Sick, Miss Independent, the dude was a hit making machine. Now, yes, he looked, he had to wear a hat, whatever. But at the same time,
Yeah,
the
he did.
dude
Little
the
fedora. Yeah.
dude was a songwriting machine, and he can sing. Now, a lot of
He
these
was.
artists, that at least a few that I have on my list, are like songwriters. They know how to put together something that really, you know, bodes well and attracts a lot of attention and accolades and stuff like that. But big fan of Neo. So that's a little bit high, I would admit. But his amount of hits, I think it competes with anybody. At least my honorable mentions. I think he has more hits than the rest of them.
Yeah. I mean, mm. You're
But yeah,
dragging me for having Usher at five, but you got Neo at five. I think
I
that's
got
both
Usher higher,
bad
clear.
takes.
Yeah, but
Clearly, you
fair.
do. I think that's why I surprised you there. But I mean, I
Well,
didn't even have Neo
Quala, she wouldn't have it. She said he's not in my top 5.
like Usher. But
So
so I think that goes more to my point. Like he's in my five, but you got him at one. Or I bet you got him at two, and I'm gonna be tripping. But listen,
if you guys had, did you guys listen to the Confessions album? How
yeah,
he's,
sure, yeah. I mean, it's a great album. He cheated on Chili from TLC, got
but she
some
was
chick
annoying.
knocked
Now you
up.
know that he made a better decision. She was
Yeah, but
annoying.
she looked really good
Yeah,
though.
she's look, baby.
You can't
She's too
cheat on
picky.
Chili, man. Come on.
Yeah, but she's too annoying.
Well, listen, these are personal lists, like we said in the beginning, right? It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's good
I don't
for
know
it
why.
makes
I
for a
don't know
good
why I'm getting
conversation.
triggered. I don't know why I'm
Yeah,
getting
I
triggered.
don't know why. I mean, either.
It's emotional. That's what R&B.
It is. It is. It is. It is. You're right. We're gonna start crying. Where's my Kleenex? Yeah. So I got Usher. I had Usher at 5. Um, oh man, Brian McKnight. I got at 4.
I
I'm a
can't argue
big
with that.
Brian McKnight fan. His longevity, his rhythm, his swag. He didn't go into the. I like my R&B guys to be R&B. I don't like the merge of this R&B rap. And Trey Songz kind of does
Who
that. And
started
Neo,
that?
like
What
I don't
I
know.
really think it was Drake, man.
No,
Like
like
Drake.
no. Chris
Too,
Chris Brown maybe start. I don't know, but I don't
uh,
like that. I like my R&B dude to wear to look like an R&B guy and just sing. I don't need it. I don't want my R&B guys to want to be rappers, right?
right.
Um, R. Kelly did that too. He's singing and then he's like became like this rap guy, and then he started doing weird stuff, and then he started making these like novellas and like these weird things and popping out the closets and like weird stuff, but like artful stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like I just like them to just be on the stage singing to a woman or singing about some hurt or some pain. And
So
I like
I'm
Brian
assuming
McKnight.
I'm assuming R. Kelly's not on your list. So what you said.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
We have to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian McKnight.
I had him at 4.
If someone said he's better than Neo, I would not argue with that. Now you have him
can't argue with that.
better than
You can't argue
Usher.
with that.
I don't know about that.
I got him one step for me personally. Yeah,
personally.
for me. Because also R&B, I can appreciate the dancing and stuff, but sometimes that takes away. Just because you're a really good dancer, yeah, that's a talent, but it doesn't mean that you're like a great singer songwriter and the song's good. So I think R&B started evolving into this showmanship kind of stuff, right? So it started like that back in the 60s and 70s, dancing, boom boom, and then it got to like the Barry White, like the Al Green, the Marvin Gaye,
the more like
the,
deep,
the Smokey Robinson, like
yeah,
singing, just what I'm saying, and that's what I like. And then it got back to like the dancing and stuff that Usher was doing and stuff, and I don't know, I'm good with it, but
okay,
I got him at 4.
enough.
So
Fair enough. Okay, so my next one is more of I guess accomplishment of the thing, again, going back to all the things he has done for music and R&B. I have my number 4 is Babyface. The dude was able to, I mean, he had that smooth voice, man. Soulful melodies, and the dude wrote for everybody.
Yeah,
he wrote for Whitney. I think he wrote for Mariah Carey. I think he wrote for Boys Man. He wrote for everybody. The dude was like he's a legend. And Babyface, man, and he could still, even a little later in the 2000s, he was still putting out some hits. Maybe work with some younger artists. he may not, let's say, have all of the hits on his own, but
Yeah,
he was been around for a minute. And 90s, he was still doing his thing.
yeah.
So I have him, at least for the history of R&B and music in general. I thought, yeah, I would put Babyface up right there because I'm sure he um definitely mentored and people follow a lot what he was doing. So I got
Hmm.
him high, but I think it's a good spot.
No, I think that's fair. I don't have him on my list. Probably should have had him in an honorable mention. But to me, he didn't come to my mind. And like I said before, like I have
Yeah.
to like have like a I had to have an album or some memory with an artist,
Right, right, right,
But
right, right.
clearly I recognize his like legitimacy on the hierarchy, like super talented. And I think if anything, most of his hits were songs he wrote for other artists. And that,
Yeah,
the artists that
yeah,
you mentioned, some of the biggest name, Boys to Men. I mean, that's, Mariah Carey making all the hits back in the days, right? So
yeah.
much respect to Babyface, but it's not somebody that I never owned a Babyface album. Just never had a Babyface album. I can remember some songs, but was never like a really big fan to where I had to like get that album. So
Gotcha, gotcha.
this is gonna be tough, man. I still have. I feel like if I don't include this one person, it's gonna be weird. But hmm, so I still have. Let's see.
Oh,
One, two,
Robert appreciate the
four.
Babyface.
Yeah,
That's why I
I
watch
still
him.
got I still got four names, and I can't disinclude any of these
So you
guys.
you got you got three, right?
I have three left, but I got four names written down. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
where I'm struggling. I'm gonna go Music Soul Child. Big Music Soul Child fan.
Wow.
Love me some Music Soul Child. I just have a lot of memories. Even one of my boys used to love Music Soul Child, and I remember us one night at the house or an apartment I had at the time. This is back in 2000 and maybe eight, around that time, 2007, 2008. And we stayed up all night, was drinking, hanging out, listening to R&B. Who knows? Two guys listen to R&B. What's that tell you, right? And he was just like singing all these songs. We were listening to hip hop at one point, but like Music Soul Child just has like I have a memory of him and a lot of big hits. I think he's very underrated, so he's my sleeper pick in the top three.
He has an album that came out a couple weeks ago. It's amazing. It's called
Yeah,
Victims and Villains.
yes,
I
you
was
told me about that. I
going to
listened to it.
I
Yeah,
was going to see him in Madison Square Garden, bought
yep.
tickets, and damn Knicks had to go and do well in the playoffs and could
Playoffs.
extend it to a point. You know how it works when they start booking gigs for teams they know, like, oh, this team's gonna suck. Don't worry about it. They're not gonna have. There's gonna be no playoffs over here. And then the Knicks surprise everyone, like having playoff basketball. They push all those dates off,
Yeah,
which I find equally annoying, but also great because the Knicks were actually a relevant team. But Music Soul Child still got it. He had
yeah.
the album, yeah, Victims and Villains. Hit Boy produced the whole thing. I didn't even know Hit Boy produced R&B songs. It was like that 90s feel. It's a fantastic album. So I'm actually a little disappointed with myself not even mentioning Music Soul Child. I think someone put in the chat first as well. Fantastic artist.
Yeah.
And that's your number three, right?
That's my number three. Yeah.
All right. So my number three, and to be honest, he could go a little higher, but he's it's weird. R. Kelly. I got R. Kelly number three. And yes, he is a terrible person.
We're not talking about that though. We're not talking
Yeah,
about
but we know how it is. You gotta, because now it's I haven't played a R. Kelly song in my car.
Mm.
The part even thought about it. Like, would you
Really?
blast R&B? Like, would you blast some R. Kelly outside your porch? As you,
Yeah, you know
back
what's
out of
funny
it?
is no. But I blasted some R. Kelly when I was younger,
Well, yeah.
But like now I don't even feel like we hear him on the radio. Is he
It's
they
all
don't even
he's been blackballed.
he's been blackballed, right?
They're not allowed to.
But talk about a
Like,
guy that was extremely talented, wrote music for other people,
he has a lot of good songs, man.
stretched the limits of R&B, went into hip hop, which I don't love all the time, but him and Jay-Z, right?
Yeah.
The best of both
Yeah,
worlds.
that was okay. It worked.
It was okay,
because
but
the Fiesta thing, the song was good, and they thought,
yeah,
well, let's do this a whole album. And I'm like, all right,
yeah.
it gets a little stale.
And then
But,
and right at that point is when everything unraveled, and then they didn't continue to do what they planned on doing. It's at least what
yeah,
I
something went wrong, but it could have been
yeah,
the shit that he was probably getting himself into.
right, right,
But the pop stuff, I can believe I can fly. There's a lot of songs, and there's some weird songs that now you know what he was talking about. The
yeah.
whole down low thing, and
Pied Piper, I mean,
Yeah, you can
there's a
tell.
history with Pied Piper and what that means and calling of the yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I had him on my paper and I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I had him written down of my 11 to 10 names. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with him because
He's a musical genius, but
he
he's
yeah.
a piece of crap. He's a
And
he's garbage.
and
Human
we're
being.
talking about R&B, so it's got to
Yeah.
be love and soulful. It's got to come from a place of compassion and truth. It's
Yeah.
R&B, right? And then he's Aaliyah. They meet when she's like 14 or 15.
He
It's
used
weird.
his genius
Yeah.
of music to manipulate women. Because
Yes.
R&B, that's how you do it. I
Yes.
mean,
And
they
if
said you put the R in R&B, so it's
yeah.
but the amount of hits, the amount of influence he
Hmm.
has on the and yeah, but yeah, you cannot you're not gonna watch or listen to any radio or they're not gonna play his stuff. But
Yeah.
I have him three. I thought he did a lot, and the Trap in the Closet thing was kind of goofy. It was cringy even when it came out. I remember
It
watching. I'm
was
like,
cringy,
this
right?
is who wrote this
It's
story?
weird.
He
And
did.
I think a big part of that was Ronald Isley, which I love the
Okay,
Isley
those
brothers.
collabs are amazing,
Amazing.
but I don't think he
Amazing.
was in that Trap. Like Isaac wouldn't do that dumb
No,
shit.
he
But
wasn't in that. He wasn't in that. But that's when it kind of started because you remember those videos and like
oh yeah.
R. Kelly taking the
Him and
Boston
even
lady and
Kelly,
like
yeah, Kelly,
yeah.
Kelly Price, I think
Hmm.
Chantel Moore, like those fantastic songs.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I got him at three.
Listen, I don't hate you for that. I thought about. It's just when I look at the totality of everything, it's like I just can't do it because it doesn't fit the R&B what I need for it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot
Yeah,
of super talented, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. So that's your three, right? So I'll go to my
yeah.
two. Maxwell, man. For the fact that you don't have Maxwell in the top five bothers me. Pretty Wings, I mean, on and on and on. The smoothness of that guy, right? The uniqueness of his look, his sound. I can listen to just about any Maxwell song, and my whole vibe just kind of changes for me,
Yeah.
right? And to this day, I can. And he brought something for me that just was unique, man. And he's my number two for that time. I mean, I couldn't even tell you if he's making new music now. I don't look for R&B in that way, but that was the music I was playing in my car if I needed to just chill or if I got my girl with me, we're trying to just vibe out and relax. That's the music I'm playing, and he's my number two. And I'm surprised he's not in your top five. I gotta say that's the one name I thought for
Maybe number
sure.
five should have. I mean, number five could have went different directions. I mean, also it's hard. You gotta get five, and then kind of like you said,
It is hard.
it
It is
hits
hard. It
you
is hard.
differently. So
Yep.
it does make sense on some get missed like Music Soul Child. Why that didn't pop up, and even I was mentioned a couple weeks ago, but you start thinking about older stuff and you kind of forget.
Mm.
But yeah, I wouldn't argue with that one. The Usher slander is still bothering me, and I have Usher at number two. Okay, you
Okay.
guys are ridiculous.
So hold up. I had him
This
at
hate,
five. I had him at five,
yeah, it should be. You should
and
be
you had him at two. I mean,
top
yeah, it's
three.
not
You should be
okay.
top three, man.
Okay.
How dare
Okay.
you? Like,
So
you make
Confessions
when someone
is like
comes.
your
Yeah, wait,
that's
the dude
that's
started when he was. I don't know how young, how old he was when he
he's like
first came out.
16, I think.
Yeah,
15,
super
16.
young,
Yeah,
and
very
he
young.
was doing his thing even before that. But yeah, I think his height was I think it was early 2000s.
Oh, for sure.
That was his height of his powers. Dude could dance. The album that came out 2020, 2001, 8701, another great album.
Yeah.
So
Is that what My Way's on? That My Way song.
yeah, I think
That's
my yeah.
My Way. Yeah, that's a
He was able he had R&B, but he was able to break into like pop. Like I feel like when
yeah.
you watch MTV TRL and all that stupid stuff, his music was always up there, and he kind of went into the pop, and that's kind of translates to my number one too. That's a little pop as well, but R&B is where it is, and
Yeah.
he obviously blended both of those. So like my top one is also a little blend, but yeah, Usher's
Is our number one the same?
it's possible.
I think it might be. Yeah.
Well, also I could sense your sensitive nature, so it's probably. I mean, you have Maxwell number two, so most likely you have a very sensitive dude at number one.
Oh, maybe
and
it's not. We'll see.
Well, no, we'll see.
Listen,
I mean,
bro,
my guy.
listen.
Everyone loves this guy.
If I'm listening to R&B, it means I'm in a mood. I'm feeling some type of way. That's what
Okay, so
R&B is,
it may
right?
not be because his maybe. You go ahead, whenever you're ready.
I gotta go. I gotta hear your number one first. I just have to because now I'm intrigued.
The ladies love him.
Oh,
The
so it's not
ladies
the same
love
then.
him.
Okay, it's not the
They
same.
call him by one name for his
Oh,
first name.
okay.
And especially the women, 40s and 50s now. I mean,
Mm, mm,
he's long
mm.
passed away, but Luther Vandross. Um,
Hold up. How he was making music in the 90s?
yeah, his best
Oh,
music was in the early 90s.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even have him on my radar because I assumed and
He
didn't
no, the dude
realize.
was killing it obviously in the 80s, but the dude was
Luther.
killing it in the 90s. I
Oh
remember the power. I think
man.
the Power of Love was in the 90s.
Okay.
Let me
Well, you
check it
know
right
what?
now just to
That
make sure I get it
makes
right.
sense.
But
That makes
yeah, the
sense.
Power of Love 91.
Well, listen.
Um,
I mean, that's a phenomenal. I didn't. I would have had him as in my 80s if we did the 80s, whatever.
oh yeah,
But
definitely.
I mean,
He
Luther.
he was still killing it. He actually
So is it Fat
he won
Luther
a
or skinny
Grammy.
Luther for you? He's skinny by then, right? Or
He's
was he fat?
skinny by then. Yeah, he
He's skinny
won
by
the
then.
Grammy for
Okay.
best R&B song
Oh
in
man.
92.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, also I love Luther, man. Like
Oh, me
I'll
too,
say that
man.
I'll get real sensitive right now. Even the song didn't come out during that time. The one song that can probably get me emotional is "Dance with My Father."
Oh,
I can't. Sometimes I don't.
yeah.
I can't listen to it. And my
That is
dad is still
that's
around, and he's he's great, but
It's a good
I
point.
can't. It's only a very few songs that can get me emotional.
Mm,
That song can,
yeah.
because first of all, you know why he's singing it clearly, but
Yeah.
Luther's the man. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
he
listen. I'm gonna have a icon on my number one, but I think your list is with the Luther in there. I totally went right over my head. It's a
but the
great
one that
number
you're
one.
gonna say
Yeah.
went over my head. 'Cause I think I
Yeah.
know what you're
Lu-
going to say, and
Yeah. Luther.
I shouldn't have had that one, but for
Yeah.
some reason, to me, he's more pop.
So Michael
But
Jackson.
yeah,
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 that's who I
yeah. I
have
was
as number one. I think
yeah,
it's a very vanilla pick, but I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. My oldest daughter was a Michael Jackson fan before he passed away. She
yeah.
was 10 years old or so when I had to break the news. My family was a big Michael Jackson family, and he made music in the 70s, in the 80s, in the
Oh
90s,
yeah,
in
you
the
baby, yeah.
2000s. Um, that he is the epitome of of music genius in my opinion when it comes to just when you talk about everything involved, the lyrics, the landscape of him making songs and videos that were socially like aware, just everything about him, man. He's my number one, and I didn't want to put him on the list because I feel like a lot of his stuff was in the 80s, but he made significant
No, he
music in
made
the
yeah,
90s.
yeah.
So
I thought
because of that,
Bobby said Luther's pre-90s borderline, but I'm going early 90s. He was
yeah,
still just like Michael Jackson, and both you can say
yeah,
pop. Just the pop songs are probably the bigger hits, clearly for Michael Jackson, like a lot
yeah,
of the pop stuff, but
a lot of it.
they were able to do R&B. I mean, and maybe we need to do the old school R, like
I think we
go
need
into
to.
the 70s and,
So
and
much that we've
80s.
missed. We've only scratched the
Yeah.
surface, right?
Um.
Yeah, Luther, great pick though. I gave you shit for the not having Maxwell and having what, but Luther
Yeah.
is he's on the Mount Rushmore. If I got to pick four guys, he's there, right?
I remember watching him. There's videos of him singing, fat one, sweating, women still screaming. Then
Yeah,
I don't know. There's rumors that he was gay. Who
mm,
cares?
I didn't know that. I never heard that.
There's some. I don't know. They never, unfortunately passed away. But there were some rumors that maybe he was. It don't matter. The
Mm,
dude.
doesn't matter.
First of all, the women were screaming. I'm sure he collected those that checks and the ticket
Hmm.
sales and everything. He didn't give a damn. Same thing with Tevin Campbell. I think actually Tevin Campbell came out, and everyone was like, "Yeah, we know." I knew. At least
Didn't it?
watching
Hold
him.
up. Wasn't there something about Neo? I've heard things about like Neo.
Neo
And
cheats
that's
on his wife.
oh,
Maybe
okay,
I know
okay,
he's a little bit of. That's why I remember he was having some kind of parental
yeah,
or some money you have to pay because he kind of messed up. But
interesting.
listen, when you're R&B, you can sing. You have a secret power. You have a power
You have a
that
power.
most men don't have,
Yes.
and you can get yourself in trouble
Yeah.
if you don't holster that thing.
Yeah.
Or like I see a
I
lot
do
of
want to say we missed somebody. Joe. Joe
yeah. I'm a
was,
big fan
I
of Joe.
listened to a lot of Joe.
Yeah,
We definitely, I should have had him at least in my honorable mention. Joe was a very, we miss, there's a lot.
There's groups
I
that
think
we
our listeners
we can do
know.
the groups, we can do female
Yeah.
R&B acts, so we can we'll come with a more concise time frame because I think 20 years is probably too much to
Let
kind of
me
throw
let
it
me
in
ask
there.
you a question. Since you mentioned groups, I saw
Oh,
something.
Bobby has something important he put out here. Maxwell at number 2 on Pedro's list kept me subbed. Thank you, Pedro.
Oh,
We can't lose any
Bobby,
more subs.
Bobby, I did that just for you. You're welcome. You can stick around another week, my friend.
I think Maxwell is going to perform on Madison Square Garden in September.
Is he?
I'm probably going to go. Yeah. There's a
So
bunch of artists.
are you
Amanda J.
telling me
Blige is
are you telling me I
there.
should come to New York in September and we're gonna hold hands and like
There,
watch
if you
Max
if you want,
do a live
I forgot,
podcast?
it's like September 15th or something like that. There's a bunch of
Really?
Wu-Tang Clan. There's a bunch of
Oh
stuff,
shit!
all for
Damn.
people old like me and you.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
those, yeah. So I think it's
yeah.
Maxwell in there. There's gonna be a bunch of stuff. So,
That's wild.
they're
That's
all
wild.
performing, man. If they still around, they're probably performing because that's
Yeah,
how they're gonna make their bread.
that's how they're gonna make their money, man. But I got a question. So I saw something on somewhere, TikTok or something. It was just debate. Somebody asked a radio host a question, and they had, since we talked about groups, right?
Yeah.
If you had to pick a group that's more successful, more influential, whatever, Drew Hill or Boyz II Men? And this was a debate. And when I thought about it in the beginning, I was like, well, that's really easy when I think about those two groups. But then I started hearing them talk about the groups. It's like, oh, maybe it's not as close. So what's your opinion? Are you more Drew Hill or Boyz II Men? In the chat, you let us know.
I think Boyz II Men had the bigger hits, man, and a bigger like impact. I mean, you sing "End of the Road," and I love Drew Hill. Like I feel bad, but at least Boyz II Men kind of stuck with the same group for the longest. Drew Hill's like 6 guys now. But Drew Hill at one point, Tell Me and
Sleeping in My Bed,
5 Steps.
five
Those
steps.
they were harmonizing the hell.
Yeah.
But also I think Boyz II Men they harmonize a little better. The harmonizing skills were. I mean, first of all, they grew up together. I don't know if Drew Hill they grew up together. They probably did.
I'm not sure. I know Boyz II Men. They're from Philly,
Yeah.
Philadelphia. I don't know if Drew Hill was.
But I love Drew Hill.
Sure.
I'm not.
Me too. Me too.
Say I'm not shitting on Drew Hill because, like I said, there are a few songs where they killing it. And Cisco's extremely. He's weird, extremely talented dude. Like, yeah, he tried to sing like Casey from Jodeci. Yes, he was copying Michael Jackson.
He could sing though.
He can sing.
He could,
and that's his style.
He was a showman.
Yeah,
like he could sing. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's definitely you don't want to shit on Drew Hill and just say Boyz II Men, but Boyz II Men,
they're kind of the quintessential group if you think of that era,
yeah.
right?
Like I mean, they assemble a lot of those boy bands. Were assembling because they were trying to emulate. I mean, I don't think they reached it, but trying to emulate Boyz II Men. Like that's I
love
the
like
early stuff.
NSYNC and like Backstreet Boys, and
they even said like I'm trying to look at that, but because when Boyz II Men came out, they didn't necessarily just do the super slow R&B stuff. They were doing New Jack Swing, kind of upbeat, kind of Boyz II Men, like that kind
especially in the beginning, in their first album.
In the beginning,
sure.
yeah. So then they got more comfortable with themselves, and then but yeah, I mean,
interesting, right?
It's like saying, okay, Drew Hill or Belle de the Boat, like which one? Like
that's tough.
You know what I mean? Like
because I was at a different age, so I had to go back in time. So if I am a 20-year-old listening to R&B or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Belle Biv DeVoe was before my time, technically, right?
Yeah.
And the Drew Hill's more current for me.
Right.
So it's just, but then you go back to listen to the old stuff and it's more relevant. But for me, Jodeci was more relevant than Belle Biv DeVoe. Jodeci was the shit, man. I remember, I mean, Jodeci was it, right?
Yeah.
So it just depends. Like you can go back, and it took me a while to find the Isley Brothers, right?
Right.
My mom was a big Prince fan, so I would listen to some of that. But like as a kid, I don't really. You remember your mom listening to it as she's cleaning the house, but like you don't.
Yeah,
really
I mean that's
know
how
what's
I got to
on.
Luther. A lot of old Luther. She'll play it in the house.
Yeah.
But Belle Biv DeVoe, they were monsters, man. They were monsters. But then like New Edition.
But
yeah, Jodeci was great, but there was 4 of them, but it was only the 2 that you cared about.
Only 2. The other 2 did nothing. They were eye candy.
They were like good-looking light-skinned dudes. Another 2 like Like, who
Yep.
cares? Because Casey and JoJo, again, I
Yeah.
don't know where we're gonna be doing like R&B groups, but those two were amazing.
Yeah.
So it don't matter how ugly they are. Another thing too, no matter how ugly you are, if you can sing, you can get
Doesn't
whatever you
matter.
want.
Doesn't
It
matter.
don't
It's
matter.
like if you're ugly but you're a dude that has a lot of money. Doesn't matter.
It don't
It's the
matter.
same as if you can sing. Doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Look at some of
'Cause-
the. If you look at some of like the country guys, and like some of the like the Michael Boltons. Even if you go in the pop, like them dudes look a little crazy, right? But like they got the women.
They can sing, and
Man.
women love that stuff, man.
They
It's
like it.
hypnotic, man. But
I think
yeah,
women like that, but I think they like it in moments. I don't think a woman's gonna really be with a dude like that and like want to like be with him forever because like it
it
could
was
be
unless he's
like
successful
two.
or something could provide
Yeah,
and stuff.
sure, but I don't know.
No one wants to be with Casey.
No, probably not. He's always singing and shit and like always.
He was with Mary J. Blige for a while. In fact, like, she
What
made some songs
Casey
about him.
from
Yeah,
Jodeci? Really?
yeah. Apparently he like did it wrong. Like he was an asshole.
Mary J. Blige is she's married to a woman now, right? Mary J. Blige
Really?
is like she came out. Yeah, Mary J.
Oh, I
Blige
don't
is.
even know, but I'm talking. Well, this is 90. Like this is
Yeah,
a
yeah. Mary
while
J.
ago.
Blige is she's like has like a wife that's like 25 or something like that. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
Jordan was trying. I don't know if you remember the top, the All-Star game where they brought the top 75 players, and I think Mary J. Blige was probably either perform. Or was that or the Super Bowl? I forgot what it was. She was there, and MJ was trying to talk, like, or he was very
Really?
handsy
Oh.
with Mary J. Like he was like, "Hey, how you
MJ,
doing?"
MJ gets drunk and he gets like
He
that.
gets
Like
very
I remember
attention,
that
yeah.
he was like hugging everybody, like
Yeah,
because usually he's a jerk, but I
but
think
he
he
was
gets.
really
Yeah,
hugging
yeah,
on
yeah.
Mary J. And she looked amazing.
Somebody tell us in chat. I'm pretty sure Mary J. Blige has a wife. I'm like 99.9% sure. Good for her.
She's not
Like,
Queen
but
Latifah, you mean?
no, Mary J. Blige.
No.
I would bet some money on it. Somebody's got to look it up. Somebody's got to
Okay,
look
well, you
it
know
up.
what? We will. I'll do some research later on about
We'll do
that.
some research.
See
Yeah.
if that's true. But yeah, all right. So next episode, we'll come with another list. Well, I don't know about Wednesday. That's kind of close, and it took me all day to figure out. So maybe next Monday we'll
It
come
took you
with a
all
list.
day to put Maxwell not in your top 5.
I messed up, man.
all day.
I wasn't even listening to a lot of R&B, which didn't help. I was listening to wait, I was listening to Killer Mike came out with an album.
I saw that on
good.
my Apple thing. I haven't listened.
Oh,
to
yeah, check it out. It's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, Killer Mike is over, and then there's a song with Andre 3000. I think Future, some other people,
Ooh,
but it's good. Check it out. And I was listening to some old stuff too, so I probably should listen to more R&B. Maybe I would have had Maxwell in there. Put Neo.
That was.
It's not perfect,
but you made up with it with Luther, so you're good. It's fine.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Balanced.
So yeah, Wednesday we'll be talking about something else. I'm sure something weird. There's always something weird happening around this world. So
always
be good, guys. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.